Hello, I'm Dragoș, and in this video we're going to see how you can use your AI CLI tools safely with the help of a Docker container and have access from your ID to the files easily, so you can see the changes and modify what is needed with the CLI tools in a Docker container. So lately there have been a lot of AI tools, especially CLI tools that have been released, and maybe you want to isolate your development from the local machine, because it may happen that an AI CLI can run a command that will mess everything up for you, and you may want to have them running in a Docker container which is isolated and more secure from my point of view, because the CLI AI tool, it will not have access to all your host. It will only have access to the Docker container, and in case something is happening, you will have the option to spin up this container easily. So because of this, I was thinking to create this video and see how we can have this set up. I've tested this for a couple of days and it's working quite nice. And of course there are some limitations. For instance, some of the CLI tools have plugins that are linked with the ID, so you may miss that. And yeah, this isn't for everybody, but in case you want to see how you can run safely these CLI tools, you can watch this video and we're gonna configure everything together. I've also created an article in here with all the details that we're going to see. I've tested this in Podman. So on my other laptop I have Podman installed. In this one I have Docker with Docker Desktop. So we're going to give a try to run everything that I've in this article with Docker and see if it's working. And at the end you should have like an image that will help you manage the CLI tools more securely. And the first thing that you are gonna need is to have Docker installed with the Docker Desktop. It will be the easiest way. I am on the Mac, but this should work on any platform that you are using. And yeah, Docker is installed. If you don't have Docker installed, you can go and install the desktop version, and this will install Docker for you and everything. And after that we can go and create all the settings that we're going to need to spin these things up. And in here you see that you have also the details for Docker and Podman. Depends on what is the preferred option. You can use either one of them. On this video I will focus on the Docker option. I hope we don't have any problems, because we're going to configure this right off the bat, because I've used the other option, the Podman, on the other laptop that I've tested everything. And we're going to use the image that we're gonna customize it, and the image that we're going to use is this one, Python Node.js from Nikolaik. And it has a lot of different things in here, a lot of images. So in case you want to use a different Python version with Node.js version, you just use the proper tag. For us, we're gonna use, I think, the 3.13 for Python and 25 for the Node.js. But of course you can use whatever image you want from here. And I'm using the bookworm one, which is an Debian one. And yeah, I just wanted to let you know about this. So we're going to go and make these configurations. And again, this will work both for the Podman and for the Docker. And yeah, in here you see that this image, it has this. And it already comes with a predefined user that we're going to use, PN, for security. Okay, and the first thing that we're going to do is to create some folders. So basically these folders, it will hold the project that we're going to put in there. So I will make this customization a little different, and I will make this first directory in here right now. Or let's make it like it is, and I will create the website one in here, because I already have a website with websites in here. So I will make these directories in here. This will create everything into this folder. It will be into your home. And if you're going to check them in here, we're gonna see that we should have the dev home, Docker AI tools, and the website one in here. We should have all of these folders in here. So basically, for the one that doesn't know what this will hold, for the Docker AI tools, we're going to go and create in here the Docker file and the Docker compose file that we're going to run. And in the dev home, we're going to keep the home of the user in the Docker container, because when you are installing these CLI tools, in there you will have some folders with configuration. For instance, for factory you have .factory, for AMP you'll have .amp, and in there you have like options to add MCPs and other things. And in the website we're gonna go and add our project. So first we're gonna go and enter into this directory, Docker AI tools, that will hold everything for us like this. So right now I am in the directory in there, and you see in here I've also explained what it's all about in there. And what I'm gonna do, I will just allow everything to be written and read from these two folders that I've created, because the Docker container will need this. So I will add. Okay, so I've added the details to the websites one for this. And then we are going to go and create a Docker file with all the details. So basically in here what I will gonna do, I will open Z for this, because I want to have a better UI when I'm creating all of these things, so you can also better see what is happening in here. And we're gonna use this for the creating everything. And in here you have the Docker file. So what I'm gonna do, I will just go and create a Docker file, and I will paste all of these details, and we're gonna check them to go and understand what is happening. So new file, it will be a Docker file called like this. Okay, let me install the extension so we can see better, and let me copy everything. Let me copy from here. Okay, and right now what we're going to do in here, we're going to import the image that we talked about, the one with Python 3.14 and not just 25. You can use whatever image you want, it's up to you, depends on what projects and what version you have in there. You can change this, and this it will use bash. And in here we're gonna use the user root, and what we're going to do, we're going to install some of the things in this image. For instance, it comes with JIT and some of the things, but it doesn't have vMore Nano to edit things. I will gonna also install the htop to see the resources in there. And in case you need a package that, for instance, maybe an CLI tool will need it, or maybe you'll need it for your MCP, you can add it in here when you build it, or you can install it after. We're going to see that. And also in here with this command, I will gonna install Starship. Starship, it's an let's say a better design for your terminal. It will make it more nice, so you can take advantage of everything. I've also created a video in the past how you can customize your Mac and how you can use this Starship. And in here we're going to install it and use this preset Cappuccino Powerline. You can use whatever presets you're wanting. And then all of these details, it will be added in there with some alias for Python and everything. And yeah, this is just copying the details after the instance reboot, so it can go and put it in the right folders for us. And in here you will have only the user PN, because this is what image it's using, and this, it's the work dir when you're logging in. You can also change this, because basically you can put directly the home PN, because this is what we're going to link. So right now we've created the Docker file. The next thing that we're going to need To do it, we're gonna need to create a compose file.yaml, and I like to use compose file for these things, and we're going to go and change everything in there. And in here, let me create this file. So new file, docker compose.yaml, it will be the name, and I'll copy everything in here. So basically this, it will go and it will have a service. It will be called AI tools, and it will build the Docker file that we've just created earlier with the image and everything. And it will create a container with AI tools, and it will restart automatically unless we stop it. And in here we have the options to put your time zone. I'll let it like this. And in here, for instance, you see that you will have the home to point to the dev home, the folder that we've created. And in here you have the options where you will put the details. So in here, for instance, the home dev, it will be linked to home PM, and this it will gonna be linked to the application, and there you will have the website. So I will just put the websites directly in here like this, and we're gonna use the websites one, and the website one should be in the left side in here, because basically this is the one that it will be on my host. So in here you'll have the dev home that we've created, websites home, it will go to the PM websites directly in there. I want to have everything, and I've saved this. And of course you have the details also for the podman, and in here you have to have the Z for read and write. Okay, and right now what we are going to go and do is to go and build all of these things. And docker compose build location, this should hopefully build everything for us. So let me put it in here already in that folder, and I will run the build. Let me allow to have access to this composer build. So this will create the image with all the details that we've pasted in there. And right now we're going to wait because this image needs to be downloaded and build the details with everything that we've placed in there. And afterward we're gonna install, for instance, Factory or the AMP, and you'll see how it's working. If this will not have any errors, because on my other test I used different paths to put everything in, but this should work fine. The image, it has like about 200 megabytes, and right now the image has been downloaded, and it goes and install the package. Right now it's putting the Starship in there, and right now I think it should have been created successfully. Next we're gonna need to run docker compose up -d, and this should spin up the image for us, hopefully. Okay, so the AI tool should be running, and let's see. Like this, you are connecting to the image. So docker exec -it AI tools is the name of the container with bash, and hopefully we should be able to connect if no errors. So right now we're connected to the image, and you see that right now you have like this nice interface that you have for your image. You have the time in there, the time it's in New York, it's 06:43. In here I am in the app folder. You can go to levels, and in here you have the websites, the one that we've created, and we have the app websites. Let's see if we can create something in here. So you see that right now the file is created, and we have a test file in here. So right now this image is up and running, and if we're going to check the Docker desktop. In here you'll have the images. So you have the image that is built with this, and you have containers in here. And you can go on, for instance, and in here check the logs and things like that if you want. But right now what I wanted to show you is the fact that right now you are in this image. And for instance, if we're going to open Z, and let's open Z with the project that we have. So I will open 2 instances of Z right now. So let me, okay, ls-l in here. And what I will gonna do, I will gonna open websites 1 in here. And in here basically you will see that ls-l, you'll see that you have the test folder that was created initially. And if we're going to go on, let's open this in Z just to have the details, or not right now. And then if we're going to go back and go into the dev home, like this, you will see that you will have some files in here. So basically the dev home, it's holding everything for you. It's holding the app and the websites. And in here, for instance, right now, let's say that we want to create an Astro. Let's do it like this. Okay, let's create an Astro project. Okay, so right now we're in the websites and we have only this test thing in there. And what I will gonna do in here, I will create the Astro latest. Yes. So right now we're on the Docker image with PN. Let's put it Astro Docker test like this. Basic, yes. So basically this will gonna install Astro and it will install the dependencies and everything. And then you can go and run your CLI tools and have access to all of these things directly under your ID that you want to use. So right now you see that everything gets installed. So if you go in here, you will gonna see that you have all the details. You have also the node version, you have the master because you have JIT, and you have the folder. So this is also looking quite nice. And right now if we're going to go to like this, okay, ls-l, and we're going to open Z in here, you're gonna see that right now you have access in your ID to this project, and you can see the modification of what was added. And if we're going to go and, for instance, want to use this with an AI tool, and let's go and choose for this the AMP. Of course, you can install more. Let's go to my article. And in here, of course, you can check to see that everything is installed properly. Let's go and install the AMP. Like this, you can install the AMP. So if you don't know AMP, it's a CLI tool that can help you code with AI free, because it has also free option. So I'm just gonna paste this in here. Also, some of the scripts that you're gonna need to install, it will need maybe root. So you can also log in with root in this image and install it, for instance, like that. You will need to do with the Gemini one. And in here, let's go and source this. Okay, so right now if you run AMP, it will gonna prompt you to start with the login for this, and you will want to link this with your AMP account, and I will just gonna do that because I just want to show you how this is working. Let me log in into my AMP account. Okay, and in here I have the details to link it. So right now I am in the AMP CLI, and in here you see that I am an AstroDoc test, and what we're going to go with, we're going to go and change this, so you can click it and you're gonna be prompted to use the free. So I will just tell it this is an Astro project, modify the home page to be for a SaaS, no components, only modify the index, because I want to show you how it's working. So right now the AI started to work, and it will go and read all the files in here, and at the end it should go and modify the homepage for us. Let's see how it's working. So right now you see that this went and modified the page index. Okay, so right now you can go, for instance, and quit this, and let's go and open the Z, and in here you will see that, for instance, pages index, you'll have access to the code directly. And right now let's go and see if we can run directly in here npm run dev. Okay, it doesn't like this because you need to install the node packages in here, because it installed other node packages for the image. But in here you can do npm run dev. The problem is that right now you will not have access to this port. So let's say you want to also expose this port so you can access your application. What we are going to do, we are going to exit from here, and we are going to add in our Docker Compose file also the port. Depends on what you are trying to use in there. So we are going to go in here, and in here we are gonna uncomment these ports, and we are gonna link the 4321. Like this. So what this will do, basically it will link the container port with this host port, so you can go and access the 4321 for Astro. And right now we're going to go and bring everything down and Docker Compose down, and then Docker Compose up. We're gonna do the start again. I am in the Docker AI tools in here that we've created, and right now it will stop our container, and everything should be saved because we stored everything on the disk. And right now Docker Compose up -d, so we can start everything, and we're going to log in here. We're going to go to websites, and right now from here to start Astro we're gonna use this. So basically in here npm run dev, and we're gonna tell it to use the host 000 with a port. So So this can be accessed externally. And we can add them because I see it's not working in here. Like this, so we can put them in here. And right now npm run dev, it should bind the port with our installation, and in here you can access this like this. So you see that right now the Astro is there, and yeah, right now you have accessed the details directly from your container, and your application or the AMP can go and do modifications. So right now, if we're going to run again, we're gonna stop this, we're gonna run AMP, you're gonna see that you are already logged in and you can go and do things. Another thing that you need to take into the consideration is the fact that sometimes some of the tools may need root to install them. So to do that, you are gonna need to run the container like this with root, with user root, and in this way you can go and install packages that you need in there, and you can install the CLI tool. For instance, the Gemini, you are gonna need to go and do it like this. Okay, so right now you are logged in with root in here, and for instance, if you want to install the Gemini CLI, this is the Gemini, and if you want to install it, you can go and install the Gemini CLI because it needs root, and this will gonna go and install your Gemini, and then you can go with your normal user and do your things in here. Okay. And right now, if you run Gemini, you will see that you have access to this, and you need to go and log in if you want. Okay, like this. So you can copy your URL and grant the authentication for this. And yeah, like this you're working with Docker, and you can secure your AI CLIs to run in Docker. Of course, again, this is not for everyone because you need to do extra configurations, but in function of your use case, you can go and do this. Also, you can just go and run commands in headless mode. Is the tool it's permitting this. Factory AI is permitting. Gemini it's also permitting this. So you can go and give this a try. Thanks for watching.